You've clicked onto this video because you're struggling to shift your weight in the downswing, probably leaning back too much, maybe standing up too early and finding it very difficult to get the pressure moving ahead. So I've asked PJ professional Graham Cox to reveal a simple move anyone can do to shift their weight in the downswing. And make sure you stick around as we'll both be covering some great drills to get this move much sooner in your golf swing. Pretty good strike, that one. So Graham, let's talk about if someone comes and sees you for a lesson, they've been suffering with trying to shift the weight forward, they can't get that weight shift, struggling with the strike, have that tendency of leaning back. What's a good drill that, let's just say someone came to see you for a lesson, what's a good drill that you would give them?
Okay, there's a couple of ways to do this. So you're struggling with a low point issue, the bottom of our swing arc. So if you take your setup for me, okay, to simplify things, at the moment, the bottom of your swing arc is wherever the club is sitting, isn't it? So it's on.
So about here.
So it's behind the ball.
Yeah.
Now, we've got to shift that forward at least an inch or so ahead of the ball. Now, if I ask you to put your weight more onto the left, now you're going to be able to shift
the club forward.
The bottom of the arc, the low point, ahead of the ball, which is where all good players are.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple of drills you can do is start from that position.
Okay.
And then make a little swing and try and keep the weight there. Okay. We're just giving you the feeling there of where we want to be. So a little bit more left-sided.
So a bit more there.
Yeah, not too much. Don't want to
so about there?
Yeah, so 60-40, let's say.
Okay.
Weight on the left.
Yeah, I could really feel like I was attacking the ball down, man.
So that's a simple way of shifting the low point forward. But every good player you'll see in the game will generally have 90% of the weight on the left side.
Okay.
You know, there's no coincidence that the best players are on the left side when they hit it.
At what point would you say that's just as you make contact with the golf ball, or is it at a point afterwards? Okay.
At impact, we are left-sided. The problem I see a lot is people, you swing to the top for me, Harry. Okay, people tend to either bump the hips forward, which tilts your shoulders back, and then you're going to struggle with getting a consistent low point. Okay. Another way we can talk about that is we're basically showing you a golf swing, a swing arc. So take that in both hands. I'll take the club from you.
Just like this.
Yeah. So what we've got here is the bottom of the arc. Okay, is our low point in the golf swing. So what we're going to try and do is shift this point ahead of the ball. So I want you to turn. So that's how we would do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
We would move our weight into our left side. So in the golf swing, we've got to be able to get into the left side and doing that. So the rehearsal is, can I take it back, turn my shoulders, and then can I shift my weight now? That's it, now swing. And then the bottom of the arc suddenly shifts ahead of the ball.
So if I just do that a little bit slower, then get it here. And then that low point, of course, that's going to be ahead of the ball, isn't it? So from my eye line here, I can see that from just looking at this swing circle that we've just sort of identified, let's just say, this is the actual swing circle, and we push that forward, well, at that point, I'm going to be hitting down the ball, aren't I?
The bottom of the arc has now shifted here.
Yeah.
So it's about how we get you onto the left side. Now, it's different for everyone, isn't it? The first drill is getting you that feeling. We set the weight on the left side. Okay, I have no issue if people like to move off the ball and then move back. No issue with that. Consistency-wise, I prefer the first choice. Yeah. Because we've not got as much movement and less inconsistency.
And that's just because it keeps you nice and stable when doing it, doesn't it?
Exactly.
And would you say, obviously, because we don't want people setting up like this, that's basically just as a drill to get people the feeling of, right, that's where I want to be. Can I repeat that and get that back to impact?
The best players in the world, the majority of them, or the average on tour, is favouring the left side with an iron. Okay, so they may be 55-45. I'm not prescribing we be, massively on the left side, because all you're going to do is get very steep on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so just favour the left side. You'll feel the hands go ahead. Your head may feel slightly ahead of the ball.
Show me from this angle. Let's have a look.
So if I take my regular setup, okay, and I always like to feel a little bit more left-sided. I've got a tendency to get there.
Okay.
So normal setup, and then just a little bit of pressure into my left knee. And can I keep it there as I swing? So I'm already created the shaft lean I want, more compression on the ball, and a stronger club face. So it's how we move our shoulders, okay, how we move our body. So I'm going to turn to the top or tilt, okay. Now if I start to spin, my hips, we're going to go with everyone's favourite, the early extension.
Everyone wants to fire the hips.
So bump my hips You know, it's not a natural move. The move needs to be here. So we feel a pressure into the left leg. So there's more flexion going into my knee.
Yeah.
I'm bending my knee, if you like, pushing, then I can rotate.
So from this face angle here, just from watching you there, it almost looks like you're keeping the club almost behind the ball as you're starting that shift in the downswing. Is that just to help keep the shoulders on the right angle?
So the club head
from extending upwards?
Yeah. Here, then I can turn. So it's about that shift. I've not turned back to the ball. Here.
And then rotate.
And then rotate. If I turn to the top, or tilt, and then just turn my shoulders, the weight doesn't shift. Spin my hips, I'm in trouble. So we need to recenter, if you like. Feel pressure, a little bit of a squat.
And then turning through from
rotate.
there.
Yeah.
Would you say putting something like, because I've just thought of something just then, where if we took a swing plate and a lineman stick, you could actually have that as a reference point, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Where you have it here, and for that first movement that you did just then, from the top of the backswing, from this point here, you're almost keeping that butt end of the club behind that alignment stick, aren't you, there?
If I turn, it's quickly in front, so I'm feeling
too early.
I'm keeping my back to the target.
Yeah, keeping the back to the target.
And then rotate. It's just delaying it for the fraction of a second rather than trying to from the top. People say, well, I'm quick from the top. Well, you are quick if your body is out of sequence and the shoulders go first, or I try and spin my hips, turn and whatever. That's the move we need. There. And then rotate. And that way you can get... Right, if I exaggerate that, then I'm going to hit very steeply onto the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we want, some exaggeration. I'm not prescribing people get way ahead of the ball. That brings its own problems, but you have to exaggerate that feel. Yeah.
Just want to give a quick shout out to GX Golf. They provide high quality golf gloves for a fraction of the price in comparison to the rest on the market at the moment. I've been using these gloves now for the last couple of months, really impressed with the quality, and I would highly recommend giving these a try. Using my discount code below as well, Harry10, you can get yourself a great 10% discount on their great bundle packages of 3, 6 or 9 gloves. So make sure you go ahead and check them out. Link will be in the description below. Yeah, okay, so if I just try that now then, keeping that stick there just as a nice reference point. So I'm just going to turn up to the top. So just making sure I still get that 90-degree rotation.
Full turn.
Keeping that angle. And then just keeping that butt end of the club behind.
Yeah.
And then I can rotate. As opposed to there and then, like you say, spinning out, because that's what I see a lot of golfers do when they come and see me. They always go this way and then wonder why they always shift away from the ball.
Definitely. I hear it all the time, you know, from the top, fire your hips, but you're already at your maximum stretch here. So I've got 45 degrees in my hips and then 90 in my shoulders. Now, I might be more flexible than me, but I cannot then turn my hips. I've just not got the flexibility. I doubt anyone
to do
has.
it,
Okay, so I need to then recenter, feel the pressure, a squat, if you like, then I can fire my shoulders. Your hips will move anyway.
Yeah.
If I turn my body, my hips move. If you turn to face that camera, your hips are turning. If you stand straight up and then turn to the camera, your hips are moving. You do it and not turn your hips, then you're going to be struggling.
A little bit all over the place
definitely.
then. Would you say as well, because like we mentioned just then, in terms of like that extension upwards from firing the hip, and then obviously causing the low point to be somewhere behind the ball, would you say a good sort of checkpoint, if people haven't got the stick or anything to check that they're able to do this right, is for the shoulders in particular, right? So butt end of the club for me there from my eye line is over the golf ball, not pointed at it, just over the golf ball. But on the way through, I almost want my club end to almost match that angle, as opposed to almost keeping that butt end of the club upwards like this.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So that's a really good driller where you can just go there, bump it, keep the angle. Yeah, right, let's give that one a whirl, see what we think. So up the top, hold it there, and rotate. Cool. Yeah.
Strike.
A little bit pushy, but it was a much better strike, wasn't it? In getting that compression down into the golf ball.
That is actually a sign that you're going, probably gone a little bit too much, because you then hit it early in the arc, the club face isn't as closed as you usually get it. Yeah. Even though you're now a fader. Yeah. But you just overdone it. That's absolutely fine. I'd rather someone overdid it to begin with. Certainly in here when they're practicing, because on the course it's going to revert a little bit more back to what they do.
So a really good checkpoint for, let's just say no one's got, when people are practicing this out on the range, those few drills that we've just shown, a good checkpoint for where the shot should go, if we're going to exaggerate this, should be actually a straight right shot like that one.
Yes, definitely.
So if we start to see them almost, the fat shots, and then they either go well right because we've left the club face open, or they've hooked left.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you know then at least that you're still doing this motion as opposed to shifting the weight and compressing.
You know, the more we go forward, let's exaggerate one. So I'm going to put you, let's say we've got 80% of your weight on your left side.
80% of the weight on my left side?
Yeah.
At address?
At address.
Cool.
And I want you to stay there. Okay, now we're trying to exaggerate it, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, I don't particularly want you there at impact, unless you're hitting a low one.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're more likely, because we're hitting the ball, say, earlier in the arc, we're more likely to have the club path from the inside and the club face probably a little bit open to that.
Okay.
So I'll put some numbers on and then we can see what we've got. Let me have a look.
So numbers that we'd be looking for here, face angle, club path, and then keep an eye on the attack angle to see how low we can get it.
So we've got, there we go, we'll have face to path. Okay, club path we expect to be a positive number to the right, and face to path more than likely a little bit open.
So 80% on this side, just to exaggerate things.
So I want you to feel, I'm going to come in and I want you to feel head stays there for me.
Okay.
That was a massive arm swing, that.
I did not want to rotate on that one just because your hand was there. Shall I try that one again? Try and get a bit of turn into that one. So here. Yeah. Because I literally just went like that then, didn't I? Rather than, So still make sure I'm rotating back, just like with that drill then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was better, wasn't it?
Put it turning it, aren't you? Yeah. Well, you see from the ball flight, it's much lower, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely felt way more compressed.
Yeah. We looked at, then you can say, okay, what was my launch angle there? 9.4. If you hit me one with your normal setup, Harry, you can have a look at that. So
9.4, that's really low for a 7.9, isn't it?
That's below driver launch, really.
So normal setup.
So I want you to go on your right side this time, okay? Not too much.
About there?
Yeah.
So that's about 60-40.
Yeah, so you feel like now your head is behind the ball.
Yeah.
Let's keep it there and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely shot, but launching too high.
Yeah.
You know, we've got
21 there.
Yeah, 21 as opposed to 9 difference.
And what's a good launch angle for 7.9, would you say?
I think I would say around about 19, 20 for the most. Tour players are around about 18, I think.
Okay.
But so we don't want to be too much now.
I suppose it depends on the player, doesn't it, as well? Because if you're someone that's looking for more height and struggles to get the distance, you want the launch angle to be higher.
Yeah, up to a point.
Up to a point, yeah, of course.
Definitely. So just feel, so we're going to feel you a little bit more left-sided there. So let's say 60-40.
Yep.
Okay. Head's feeling more centred, isn't it? It's feeling more over the ball. Okay. And then try and keep it in that position and rotate.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, launch angle. So smack bang in the middle, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's where you want. I don't want you at 9, but as a drill, it's just getting the feeling of that way ahead of the ball.
That motion.
It's a lot to do with head position, isn't it? We set you up differently. Head behind the ball.
Yeah.
Head of the ball, and then that last one was pretty much centred over the golf ball.
Right, brilliant. Let's end this one on just one more shot. See if we can match that launch angle at 15.7. So a little bit ahead of the ball.
Feeling, yeah. Good.